psychic with a T, the psychic with a T, that's me, that's me. The one with the T, the one with the T, that's me, that's me. When the planets align, spirit speaks on time, that's me, that's me. When the planets align, spirit speaks on time, that's me, that's me. When the trolls be gone, candle work be strong, that's me, that's me. When the trolls be gone, candle work be strong, that's me, that's me. I don't care what the others say, let's channel some energy today. I don't care what the others say, let's channel some energy today. Capricorn, Virgo, Libra strong, this tarot card reading about to be long. Capricorn, Virgo, Libra strong, this tarot card reading about to be long. Hi everyone, how are you? Hi Twitch, thank you for being here. I am Lamarr Townsend. If you're new to my channel, I am an astrologer, a psychic, a tarot reader, and an artist as well. Did I miss one? I'm an astrologer, psychic, tarot reader, and an energy channeler, but I am also an artist. Thank you for listening and watching. Welcome to my video. Today we'll be talking about Mars retrograde. Mars is currently retrograde, and we will be getting into that today. So we will be looking into the astrology of it. So, buckle up your seatbelts. Thank you all for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is a Twitch live stream. Follow me on Twitch at Lamarr Townsend Tarot. You can download the app on your phone, or you can also just check out my channel, twitch.tv/Lamarr Townsend Tarot, on your browser, on your phone, tablet, or computer. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube or not, wherever you're watching this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you'll get all notifications every time I go live. Make sure you hit all notifications so you'll get them every time I go live or upload a brand new video. If you would like a personal reading, I do astrology, natal chart, birth chart readings, psychic tarot readings. I also do candle work and I make bracelets. Check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Currently, I'm selling these rose quartz, which are soon to be out of stock, but I will be putting my evil eye bracelets back in stock by next week. So check that out. Also, yeah, if you would like a reading, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I am available for readings, and I would love to read for you. Lastly, follow me on my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and Twitch at Lamarr Townsend Tarot. So Mars is currently retrograde. Hi, Blinkville. I don't know how to, I can't see, but thank you for being here. I always love when there's people in my Twitch room. Lila, I think that's how you say your name. Thank you for being here. I always love when there's people in my Twitch room, because my Twitch live stream, because I don't have that many followers on Twitch right now, but it's kind of fun building your followers. So I'm trying to work on building all my social media platforms, but nonetheless, Mars retrograde. So Mars is currently retrograde. And we have a lot of planets retrograde, you all. Let's talk about that really quickly. Actually, let's do a screen share. We have a lot of planets retrograde. Let's do a current chart. And let's look at the now. Sorry, I have to clear out the... I did a birth chart reading recently for a client. Let's make that neutral. Okay, cool. So we have currently Mars retrograde in Aries currently, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second. We also have Uranus retrograde in Taurus. We have North Node retrograde in Gemini. We have Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. So this is and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets currently retrograde. Isn't that ridiculous? We have seven planets currently retrograde as we speak, and we're going to be focusing on Mars retrograde. So Mars is actually the ruler of Aries, and we currently have Mars retrograde in Aries. So that's a whole thing all unto itself. Mars rules the first house, which is our physical appearance, our general outlook on life. It's also our self image, the first impressions that we make on people. It's how people view us. Mars is also anger, aggression, war, masculinity, and things of this nature. Mars rules power, Mars rules domination. Mars rules the need to control. Mars can also rule narcissism, egocentrism, things of that nature. Sorry, Aries, it's no shade. Mars rules, things under this umbrella. All right. So, but it's in retrograde currently. So retrograde is where basically it seems as if, or the planet is, moving backwards. Most of the times it's not actually moving backwards, but the way it's positioned, it seems as if it's moving backwards. Nonetheless, the energy shift is still affecting us with it in retrograde, right? So I always say retrogrades are a good time to reflect, review, reassess, reevaluate. But with Mars, here we have to do those things in the moment, right? Because Mars is all about fire, Mars is all about impulsivity. So once again, we have to think Mars is also the ruler of how we express our raw energy. So, depending on how in touch we are with our spirituality, sometimes, how we express our raw energy, may not always be the best instinct to go towards. Someone who is just instinctually angry, instinctually defensive, instinctually has trust issues, may need to work on those issues at this time because you may be triggered during Mars in retrograde in Aries, especially. But I do believe Mars is retrograde. I don't know how long it'll be in retrograde in Aries. We'll have to see. We're going to do a transit. But it is retrograde until I think sometime in November. So we have to deal with this energy for quite a while. So, Mars retrograde and brings about situations where we have to, so a lot of times, reassess the power dynamic. All right. Mars retrograde will bring a lot of triggers, like I said, for you to work on them, for you to heal through them, so that once Mars goes direct, these triggers and these issues aren't holding you back from moving forward, holding you back from getting what you want, that's what Mars is all about. Mars is the conqueror kind of energy. It has a goal, it accomplishes it, and it gets the praise. That's Aries, that's Mars. But when it's in retrograde, getting the accomplishments, getting the praise isn't going to come so easy. I will say during Mars in retrograde, you have to be careful as well of doing things like that, doing things just to get the praise, just to get the validation, just to get the accomplishments. Because with it going retrograde, it could backfire. You could get the adverse effect, or you may just have a moment of clumsiness during Mars retrograde where you fall during your big moment. That can be a Mars retrograde moment too. So it's make sure you're doing things for the right reasons. Because I always say that, sorry if you hear someone, I think my upstairs neighbors are vacuuming right now. See, that's a Mars retrograde moment for me. That's a trigger for me I clearly need to work on, right? Anyways, back to what I was saying. When it comes to Mars retrograde, or when it comes to Mars in general, we have to remember triggers, right? And how sometimes when we get triggered, we instinctually react a certain way. Depending on how in touch we are with our emotions, actually depending on where our Mars is in our chart. So I would recommend looking at where your Mars is in your chart, because it is possible to have a Mars retrograde in your chart. Now, my Mars, I believe, is direct in Sagittarius. So my instincts are to, it's fire. Sagittarius is fire, so I'm very impulsive. So probably not the best time for me with my Mars in Sagittarius, but we're going to work through some things with that Mars in Sagittarius. And you're going to work through the things in your Mars as well. But nonetheless, I was saying earlier about missteps, basically, and how when you don't do things, when it comes to Mars and Aries, when you don't do things for the right reasons, it comes across in your actions, right? So if someone is, for example, doing a job, a YouTuber, for example, a YouTuber, you can tell the difference between a YouTuber who's really into their craft, who really loves what they do, who has a passion for what it is that their channel is based around, versus someone who just does something for clout, or, who wants fame or something like that. And it's these people are going to be weeded out over time. So this deals with public, public figures and things like that. Because once again, Mars, the first house, that's your rising sign, right? That's rising sign energy. Mars is rising sign energy. So right now, our rising signs, there's a little bit of retrograde energy going on at that time. You may even start to reassess your own like self-image. Like, maybe you start to notice certain things about yourself that you don't like. You may even like have situations where people bring attention to certain things about you that you didn't notice, or like that you need to change. So Mars in retrograde is tough for everyone, but it's also a healing time, and it's a big time to do work on yourself, and to refine yourself, because Aries can be a very, like I said, impulsive sign, for the good and the bad. And Aries is one of those kind of signs where, like, as opposed to Libra, where Libra sometimes don't have a filter either, Aries doesn't have a filter. Aries does things without care of what other people think, whereas its opposite sign, Libra, usually, all right, care a lot about what people think, and will consider people first before, they consider themselves, But it's interesting when we talk about retrograde energy. We have to think about that. Basically, when we talk about a retrograde, actually, we're retrograding back into the qualities of the polar opposite zodiac sign that the current retrograde or the current planet is in. That's retrograde, basically. So if we think about it, Mars is retrograde in Aries. So really, this is calling for us to reach into those Libra polar opposite qualities. Let's talk about Libra and Venus, which Libra and Venus and Mars and Aries do not get along, by the way. So that's just, one thing all on its own. So this could be a good time for you. For example, if you have a Mars in Libra, it's a good time for you to, we'll talk about this in a second. It's a good time for you to take control and take your power back, and, step into your power. Remember, Aries is about power. All right. So Libra is Venus. Libra is the 7th house. Libra is all about peace, harmony, beauty. Libra is all about connection. It's all about also, Libra is also about one-on-one relationships, business partnerships, your first marriage, and things of that nature. So Libra is a loving, like, planet. Libra, Venus is a very loving planet. Libra is all about connection. Venus is all about connection and things of that nature. And basically, like, doing things from your heart chakra. Now, one thing about Libra is that Libras, do have a thing about, like, people pleasing. So there is, certain things about even in that polar opposite energy of having Libra, where it's like you need to own your power. But in owning that power, you need to be refined in owning that power. Like, you can't be super arrogant, but you also can't be timid and, like, lack the knowledge of who you are, So it's like, it's about finding that balance during Mars retrograde as well. Of, I'm powerful, I know I'm powerful, I know that I can change my destiny. These are the things I need to change. Versus one side where it's like, there's nothing wrong with me, yes, I'm powerful, I've always been powerful, that arrogant side. And the other side of that is like, well, no, I've never been powerful, no, I can't do that, no, it's never going to happen for me. Like, having that, finding, first of all, where you fit in that balance, but also, like, do you fall on this side or that side, or are you somewhere in the middle? Because if you're somewhere in the middle, because a lot of you and a lot of us are somewhere in the middle, with that energy, where this retrograde is a good time for you to just maybe move forward with certain things, all right? But be mindful of the feedback that you may receive. Like, you may not be received necessarily in the way always that you would like or hope. So remember triggers. People are going to be triggered. You're going to be triggered. Triggers everywhere. It's like walking, on ticking time bombs. And it's like, you walk into, the bank, and the bank teller is like, a ticking time bomb. Boom. You say the wrong thing, and here she goes, or he goes being an a-hole all of a sudden. It's like, what did I say? What did I do? Like, all I said was I just need, I have to go somewhere. Is this going to take long? But you didn't realize that person, like, just was just not feeling it that day for some reason. And your attitude is really pissing them off right now. You know, like it's that kind of energy where it's like you just, certain things happen and you don't even mean for them to happen that way during Mars retrograde. So, um, it's also a good time to do things without the fear or care of what others think about you. So I will say if there's anything that you've been wanting to do, you know, any new thing that you've been wanting to try, and it like very drastic type of thing, like maybe you're someone that, I don't know, you've always wanted to make a YouTube channel, you know. Remember, maybe you may not get the total reception that you would like during Mars retrograde. You know, maybe you may not get that one, you know, that viral video during this time, but maybe it gives Mars retrograde would give you the start of at least starting your channel, give you like the maybe the confidence to revisit those things, revisit those qualities. But no, what comes with that too may not be all happy go lucky during Mars retrograde. Or I don't know, maybe you're someone, you know, gay or straight who's always wanted to like become a drag queen. But you're afraid of what people like would say about you. Oh my god, like Jimmy, I thought you were straight. Like why are you like doing this? Are you know, or you know how sometimes, you know, people are that's like too gay. Like, you know, are you crazy? But this is just kind of who you are, who you want to explore, you know, to figure out is it who you are, you know. These are just some wild examples, but these examples can actually happen during Mars retrograde. I'm just, you know, they're not so far fetched, you know. Um it's kind of a good time to try new things, but like I don't know, it's like you have to also be mindful that it's a retrograde, so it's not going to go perfect most likely. That's the only thing. If you're okay with that, then I would say Mars retrograde can maybe be a good time to do some exploring of self. Okay. Um, and don't be afraid of looking like the fool. Don't be afraid of being embarrassed. You know, you may fall, you may make some mistakes, but, you know, keep trying, keep moving forward. You know, you've got to work through the issues during Mars retrograde to get to the other side. Because remember, Mars is going to eventually go direct. Once Mars goes direct, it's like, okay, what have you worked on? So, you know, while it's been retrograde. Because now, you know, once Mars goes direct, it's like it's the big time right away. You know, it's like, okay, things start moving forward very quickly. You know, it becomes very quickly apparent, like, you know, if while everyone else has been working on themselves and things are being brought to their attention that they need to heal within themselves, it's like if you haven't done that work during Mars retrograde, it's going to become very apparent to other people that you haven't done the work on yourself. You haven't changed. Oh, you know, he or she's still the same, boring. You know, their mentality is still the same. It's still, you know, like, it becomes very apparent for people that you have not changed. All in the span of, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 months. If anything, I would say Mars retrograde, you know, is a good time to really see people's true colors. You're going to see people's true colors. Good, bad, and all in between, honey. All right. But it's about how you respond to those situations. That's the key. That is the key. So, I don't even know if there's people in the room. I'm just like talking at this point. So I don't work on yourself during Mars retrograde. You know, work on yourself, heal. You know, work on those triggers so that you're not so triggered. If you haven't worked on those triggers once Mars goes direct, you may miss out on some blessings, to be honest. You know, Mars is all about power. It's all about owning one's power, but it's also about, it's also about recognizing and respecting the power in others. If anything, I would say Mars retrograde is all about also consent. You know, make sure people, in your life, like, are consenting. This also deals with sex, of course, but make sure the people in your life, are consenting, and that you're consenting to being in their life. They're consenting to being in your life. They're consenting to being there in your life the way you need them to be. Like, it's all about consent. If it has not been spoken that this is the way I want you to show up in my life, this is the way I want you to be, there for me, then that's not consent. Consent is that we agree on these terms. So you can't go in the room during Mars in Aries, Mars retrograde period actually, and expect that everyone consents to what you consent to who you are. I don't know. Maybe people don't consent to you, having purple hair, and they're gonna let you know that day, like, ugh, I can't stand your hair. Or maybe they'll do something petty, like just kind of talk to, ooh, I can't stand her hair. She looks a mess, blah, blah, blah. He looks a mess. He looks this. He looks that. But I mean, you also don't have to consent to them talking crap about you either. But how do you deal with that situation? Sometimes during Mars in like retrograde, sometimes people need to find their voice. People need to learn to stick up for themselves. Like, I sometimes have that issue with my moon in Libra, Virgo rising. I'm a moon in Libra, Virgo rising, but I'm a Capricorn sun, Mercury in Sagittarius, Mars in Sagittarius. So maybe initially with that moon in Libra, Virgo rising, because I really care about, like, I want to remain like non-bothered and peaceful and zen. But once that Mercury and Mars and Sagittarius gets going, for me, it's a wrap. You can't get me to stop at that point. But I'm working on that during Mars in retrograde. And I'm noticing, and it's interesting because Mars in retrograde also, I'm like, we're very much focusing on my Zen and my peace. I'm very much tapped into that Libra energy, that polar opposite energy. Perfect for me with my moon in Libra. I'm gonna ride this Mars in retrograde out. I've had my moments of irritation, but I've never. I don't know. I haven't let anything get to me. I haven't let anyone get to me. Of course, there's always YouTube trolls and stuff like that, but I don't know. Mars retrograde. It's like, you say the wrong word and you could be done. In a fit of anger, or you do the wrong thing. You act out. Too harshly, or it's like, you have to find that balance. I need to speak up for myself, or I just need to shut up and ignore it. Pick and choose your battles during Mars retrograde in Aries. Or just Mars retrograde in general. Pick and choose your battles. So, I don't know. I was going to pull some cards, but I don't really know. I think I just kind of want to pull maybe an oracle card. Okay, thank you so much for this. You're welcome, Blinka Lila. I think that's how you say your name. Thank you for being here. I'm happy you're still here because I definitely don't mind talking just to myself, but I'm glad to be talking to somebody. um, yeah. Okay. Let's pull an oracle card. Or maybe two, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Thank you for cleansing and clearing me energy, Bestek, when you pass reading. In Jesus' name I pray and thank you. Amen, amen, amen. BA the best. Yes. I actually don't know what these are called. I think it's just called the Angel deck or something like that. I've had this for years. What message do the angels, the ancestors, and the protectors have for us during Mars in retrograde season? Healer of action. I don't know if you can see that. It says healer of action. And it says, this is a time when you can do whatever you set your mind to if your heart is open. Excuse me. It's quite interesting. You're being asked to do many things at once. You won't mind as long as you know you're making a difference. This card indicates someone who's loving, intelligent, passionate, and fun, which could definitely describe you. This person can handle difficult situations with grace. You're going to have difficult situations during this Mars retrograde, whether internal, external, unexpected, expected. How do you handle them? Remember, you can't meet that Mars energy, with fire. You can't meet fire with fire. We got to remember that polar opposite Libra energy that Aries carries with it. To a degree, it lies a little bit dormant, right? You know, just like Aries energy lies dormant in Libra energy. But every now and then, both sides come out, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know you had it in you, right? Libra's all about grace. Libra's all about dignity. Libra's all about, you know what, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm all about good vibes. I'm changing my life around. You know, I've been through it before. I'm focusing on, you know, who's good for me already. And, you know, Libra's all about finding that point where it's like, you know what, I'm done wanting to make others happy. I'm done trying to please others or trying to get validation from others. But doing it in a graceful way, right? Libra definitely has a side to him. Don't get it twisted. They'll talk some smack, okay? But sometimes that even gets them in hot water, right, Libras? Right, air signs in general, especially Gemini as well. Mind your triggers during this Mars retrograde. So resonates, yes. Mind your triggers during this Mars retrograde. You're going to have them. How do you respond? And they're going to be all different. They're not all going to be the same, you know, expected thing. Some triggers you have deep, you know, lied within your subconscious. And some of them may not even revolve around relationships. So some of them may revolve around money, you know. Some of them may revolve around yourself. So mind your triggers during Mars retrograde is, I think, how I'm going to end the video. And I think I'm not going to pull another card because that card was pretty symbolic all on itself, I think. So thank you all for being here. Oh, you're a Leo. That's cool. I have my Capricorn sun in my 5th house, which the 5th house is ruled by a Leo. So that's cool. Thank y'all for being here. I will be posting this on YouTube a bit later. But follow me on Twitch, like I said. Make sure you also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you would be interested in a personal reading, because I am available for readings, and I would love to read for you. Let me pull up my websites really quickly. I think I also want to mention, why do I keep messing this up? This is like so weird. Maybe I shouldn't try to bead a bracelet and do a video at the same time. Alright, so this is my website. Let's go ahead and see. Of course, subscribe to my email newsletter. We'll be sending out a new newsletter. I will be changing it up a bit soon. But this is my website, so everything is priced from most expensive to least expensive. Like I said, I do birth chart readings, psychic tarot readings. I also do candle work, and I make bracelets as well. Like I said, currently my Charge Evil Eye and Protect Yourself and Ground Yourself and Protect Yourself Evil Eye bracelets are out of stock right now, but they will be going back in stock soon. And then of course my Charge Manifest Love bracelets are in stock right now. So thank you all for being here. Bye, Blinka Lilla. Thank you for being here. Bye, Twitch. Bye, YouTube. Bye, every other platform. I will see you all later. Stay blessed and stay encouraged.